Have you ever had something that you wanted to do? And were you able to complete that something? Or did you just fall a little shy of where you wanted to be? Well, if you did, good on you. And if you didn't, well, that's okay. Because that means you might have failed, but you also have the ability to take that as experience. And it's well known among people around the world that sometimes it's hard to see things through until the end. You know you're not just being lazy, and then you could do it if you wanted to, but there's just some sort of mental block. It's okay. Everybody has these during any project in life, and yes, even things that people like to do. Or maybe they just do it often enough that it's like second nature, but for some reason, it just doesn't click. Hello, class. I'm DJ Mayer. I'd often quit things I don't like. I know how it sounds, but that does mean I also had the ability to train my skill of retention. Now, what's retention? Well, retention is being able to keep going at something. It's being able to build on something that you've already done, or maybe it's something that's nowhere near done. Maybe it's something you've just started. And the reason that you can train this skill is because of this mantra. This mantra I've been using is process over product. Now, what is process over product? Now, first off, what's a product? A product is an end goal. It is the final thing. If anything, it is your final draft. It is the result of art. It is the result of a game. It is the ending of a book. It's reading the final chapter. The product is whatever the end goal is. The process, on the other hand, is the work you've put into that in order to get said product. Now, in most cases, you can have a clear end goal, and that's usually set by your own standards. But let's say you're in something that has more of a creative aspect, such as writing a paper or speaking or making an art project. So for these things, you want to look at the process. So the process is important. And the reason it's important is, imagine your product as you brushing your teeth. The whole situation is you brushing your teeth. That is a process. You know why? Because if you have the process of 5 seconds of work, your teeth, your product, it's going to be yellow. It's going to have tartar and plaque within your gums, and that's not pleasant. But if you were to do it for 2 or more minutes, twice a day, your product is going to be clean, it's going to be shining, and it's going to look good. And that's the basic principle of process over product. It's putting work into something to make it better. Now, this is a skill, and with any skill, there are ways to even train it. So, the first step is being able to compare yourself to other people in a nice way. You want to have room to critique yourself in a not so deprecating manner. You want to have room in order to compliment yourself and do something positive. You want to have buffer room. You don't want to be, this is you and your product and all the bad things about it, and this is somebody else and all the good things about their product. You want to have this buffer room of positive things about yourself. And then you want to have the other person's product, and you want to be able to say that this was good, and I want to learn off of this. And, being a professional, if you're comparing yourself to somebody's professional work, that's a fine thing to do. But you also have to know that being a professional is not a product. It's not an end goal. Being a professional just means that you've devoted yourself to a process of some sort. Because you can also imagine a process of not just being how much time you've spent. It can be how much you've accrued over a certain amount of time. Take, for instance, this is the amount of knowledge you have. All of the blank space around this one area is how much you don't know. And you notice how you have this set amount of surface area on the outside, in which what you do know reveals what you don't know on the outside. So as it gets bigger, you realize that there's more that you don't know coming into light. But at the same time, there's more that you do know. And it will continuously get bigger. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know stuff. And that's fine. That's also part of the process. That's another form of process. And that's something that you should keep and integrate into your ideas. Now, let's say you're doing a physical work and you're having problems with a deadline. So what you could do is you could say, all right, I'm going to schedule for it to be done here. It's going to be at a set time ahead of what you want to do. Maybe it's a day ahead, maybe it's 2 days ahead, but ahead of what you want to do. And that is how you're going to be able to get your idea out. Or let's say it's something that you don't want to do, or that you do want to do, but you just can't get yourself to do it. Well, baby steps are always the way. Baby steps being, whenever you're a baby, you crawl at first, and then you slowly build your way up to a walk or a run or a gait or whatever you'd like to, whatever your preferred movement is. So in most cases, you just have to go slowly. And in some cases, you don't get that pleasure. You just have to jump straight into something, and that's okay too. But a lot of times, you can actually find something, a way to help yourself by helping other people. And sometimes you don't have that opportunity, but if many people are tackling the same problem, then if you're able to help somebody else do the same thing, you, in fact, in theory, should be able to do it yourself. And it should be just as easy. Now, an example of this is actually, I had to do an assignment for English this year. And this assignment, we had to find a charity, and before we even found a charity, we had to discuss our charity that we found with other people. And we had to discuss basic facts and how we're going to find facts. And what I did was, during a discussion post, if you know what Canvas is, a discussion post where you have to sit and you have to talk about stuff over a text chat. And what I did was I actually decided to take it seriously and look at what other people needed. And I figured that maybe if they'll use it, maybe they won't. And even if they don't, it'd even be good for me to know. And so I did. And it actually did help me. And so sometimes, finding a process for other people can help you with your process. So just remember, it's process over product, and that you should not compare yourself in a negative way, because there's so much more to an expressive way of learning. And you're not the only person with this issue. This is an everybody issue, and it's an everyday issue, and it will be a life issue. But I hope these tools do help you. Have a good day.